What's up, guys? Marty's barbecue pit here. We're about to clean the pit. I'm gonna do some 2 slabs of ribs today. So I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna do before starting up. I think I've done like 3 or 4 cooks already. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean it out. All right, so now that the pit is clean, we basically just start it up. Then we're gonna select the temp. Once I give it about 20 minutes, let it build a little fire. And once it's up to about 150, I'll set it to 250 degrees and let it sit for about 20 minutes, and then we'll start to cook. And you can see, can't really see my screen over there. Wow, it's a horrible camera job, but so once it's about 150, we'll be able to start it up. Alright, so while the grill is getting up to temp, I had already started putting a mustard binder, and I put 1 slab of AP seasoning and the other one of garlic jalapeno rub. So now I'm just going to add some competition barbecue rub by Heath Rouse. Just gonna give it a little color. All right. Then we just let it sit for a couple seconds, and we'll flip it over. You can pat it. I just don't want to get my hands dirty, but you can pat it down just a little bit, and that'll speed up the process. You just don't want too much seasoning loss. It has a binder, so you won't lose too much, but just a quick light tap and we'll be ready. Flip it over. I already put mustard on this side, so use AP seasoning for this one, and this is by Killer Hogs. It's basically garlic, salt, and pepper. Good stuff. And my big slab, I'm using that Heath Rouse garlic jalapeno rub. I wanted to try this for a while. So we're gonna see which slab has better flavor, if you can actually taste that jalapeno. And then our competition barbecue rub for both. Gives that color, that taste, that sweetness. See how it goes. All right, well there you go. The slabs are ready. Now I'm just gonna go put the grill up to temp, wait about 20 minutes, and we'll throw these on the grill. All right guys, so the grill is about 265 degrees. You can see it down there. It's about 265. Once I put the slabs in, it'll calm down. So let me go grab them real quick and I'll show you how I set them. So right here in the middle, that's basically the hottest part. So I set them on each side just to make sure it cooks correctly. Now, as you can see, I let them sweat a little bit. So those 20 minutes we've been waiting, they're sweat a little bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead, grab this guy right here, put it right there. And then you wanna bunch it up. That's your best bet right there. You bunch it up. So however you cook, that's how it's gonna stay. And then I'm gonna put this one right here. Again, bunch it up. Just leave it right there. That's it. That's basically how I do it. I leave that middle section for all that heat to come out. And then hopefully right now, like you see, it's down at 259. So it'll level out at 260, or 250, I mean, sorry. And then we'll let it go for about 2 hours or until it's not sticky anymore. So if I can come and touch it and it's not sticky, that's when it's ready. Hot. Very hot. All right, so it's been about 2 hours, and you can see here, I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to look wet here, but down here it's dry. See, the rub does not stick. That means they're ready to wrap. So, oh, very dry. So this just means the fat is rendering. And I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see there the fat's starting to render, but when I touch it, it's clean as a whistle. So, time to wrap. All right, so before I get ready to wrap, to grab them, I'm gonna use these gloves, hand savers, and then these gloves right on top of that. So I'll put these on right here, and these just slip on right on top. It's pretty fairly easy. So this will save my hands for when I'm grabbing those ribs, because they're pretty hot. So it's just to keep my hands from burning. And basically what I'm gonna do is wrap them. So I got a little bit of some brown sugar. I got 2 sticks of butter, stick of butter for each. Got some heavy duty aluminum. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of competition barbecue rub right on top. I had also a little bit of vinegar sauce that I'll just add to it. I don't have a lot, I need some more, but this will add some juice. So all I'm gonna do is grab this here wrap, put the ribs right here, and we'll wrap them up. All right, so here's the ribs, looking pretty darn good. Like I said, the rub's not tacky. Anything else that you see that looks a little wet, that's just the fat rendering. So it's getting ready. So most of the time, what you do, some people will do, and my original recipe, we run this first 2 hours at 275. Now I didn't do that this time because I like a little bit more of that slow cook. You can see here, a little bit of the bones are coming through, but not a lot. And the reason I do that is because once I wrap them, I leave them for that, like about another hour, and you're gonna see all this fat render, and you're gonna see those bones pull through. And if I overcook them in this stage, I tend to notice that the bones just pull through the back, right back here. They'll pull through. You can see a little bit, they're starting to pull through, and they'll pull through halfway, and I really don't want that. Keep getting my hands dirty. So I'll show you what I do and how I wrap them. It's fairly simple. It is what it is. So I don't measure at this point. We just basically gonna grab about 2 handfuls, and we're just gonna put some here. We're gonna lay it out. Now I left my front door open, so let me go close that real quick. Alright, so what I want to do here is just basically lay out enough brown sugar, get that all over the place. Then we're going to grab a knife. Oh no. We're going to grab a knife and I'm going to cut the stick of butter. And I'm going to basically cut it. I'll cut about 5 pieces. And these are going to be pretty huge chunks here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them out. And I like a whole stick of butter. Sometimes I do half, but a whole stick is what I want. Maybe I could cut those into smaller pieces, but it is what it is. Alright, so now that's set up. So I'm going to grab my big rack. And you can see the bottom of the big rack. It looks good. Looks juicy. So I'm just going to lay that on top. And that's perfectly fine right there. It's probably going to fall off a little bit. And then what I want to do is get a little bit of this vinegar sauce. Now I'm going to do vinegar sauce on this one. I only got a little bit for that one. But this is my jalapeno, the jalapeno rub. So I definitely want a little bit of that on top, so we can kind of tame it down a little bit. And so just 2 foils each, and then you just basically flip that over and flip that right here. And that's it, all that rubber. And you're gonna put these meat side down, back onto the grill at 250. Now, what I always like to do is I like to get on the thickest meat, I like to get a meat probe, and I just watch out for right there. I can feel that there's no bone there. So that's straight meat, and I'll have these to control the temperature. I'm gonna cook these to about 202 to 209. Usually by 200, I start taking them off, because they'll climb up on their own at the end. So, and make sure, what I've noticed is you stick it through the top and not the side, because if not, a lot of the juices will come out. But it's up to you, it's up to choice. So again, like I said, just a bunch of brown sugar here at the bottom. Lay it down real good, just like playing with sand. Get that going, and then you come get your butter, and you cut your butter like I said into 5 sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6. We'll do this one a little bit smaller. So for those OCD people that don't want to see such huge, those are still pretty big, huh? Regardless, it's still gonna come out delicious. All right, so you got your butter. Again, this is a small slab. It's my little slab. And then we'll put some of this vinegar sauce. Oh yeah. So that's this Killer Hogs vinegar sauce. Good stuff, really good on pulled pork. It's outstanding. All right, and then again, quickly wrap. Set it down, and then flip it over. This way it's easy to probe them and check. Put it right here. You got your meat temperature probe, and that's it. That's the wrapping process. And like I said, I don't normally go. I'm gonna go for about an hour, but Usually depends. If I do 275 in about 30 minutes, they're done. They're quick and easy coming off the grill. But if you want a little more low and slow, a lot juicier, you let them go for temperature. Go at 250. Just let them reach that 200. Once you get that 200, 202, you can go up to 209 to give you a little more tenderness, more fall off the bone. But I like them to stick a little bit. That way you can get a nice bite. So that's my advice. This is how I wrap them. I'm gonna put these back on the grill. All right, so we're back on the grill. So here's the ribs. The first thing I'm gonna do is hook up this temperature meat probe. So, and it'll show me the temperature down here. So it's open now. So now they're at 147, 145. That sounds about right. They're probably about 160 when I took them off the grill. So what I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna add them a little bit closer to that center. Not too much, but just a little bit more. I'm gonna close up this gap right here in that center. So, and that's really about it. Like I said, right now you can see the temperature is about 243. It'll climb up to 250. I'm just gonna let it ride. Like I said, we're going for temperature here, so I'll check it about every 30 minutes. I'll come out and just look at it. And there's nothing wrong with this little cable here. And that's about it. All right, so the ribs reached 202, so I'm gonna grab this rack and bring them in. I'm using my Kingsford gloves so I don't get burnt. I'm just gonna pull them right off the grill. All right, so the ribs are ready. Let's take a look. Oh man, I'm gonna switch gloves right now, but we got a lot of juices here. Trying to escape out. I don't know if you guys can see. Let's see, there's all that pull through. That'll tell you they're done. They are done. Now, I forgot to grab my set of gloves, so let me go grab those. All right, so I got my handy dandy gloves. These are Oklahoma Joe's smokers. Get those at Lowe's. Everything I use, I get at Lowe's. The pit is from Lowe's. You can buy the rubs at Lowe's. Pretty much Lowe's for everything. So now the ribs have reached 202. Some of them were 203. Oh man, they're not as easy as I thought. So they are ready. Now we're not done yet. What I'm gonna do is pull this off real quick. I'll pull this one off over here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab it and let all those juices out. Feel that? Oh, so good. And then I'm gonna put it right there. Actually, I'm gonna put these face down first. Now, that's a lot of juices. Throw this away. All right. Now we're going to get our second rack. It's got a little bit of leakage. So we're gonna clean this up right here. Make sure we don't get it dirty, because then my wife will yell at me. All right, these are pulled through, ready to go. Look at that. Look at all those juices. All right. So I'm gonna throw this juice away here. We don't need that. They're juicy enough. All right. Just clean it up real quick. what we're gonna do. So we're gonna use Kinder's barbecue sauce. You can get this at Sam's Club. Hickory brown sugar, that's my favorite. And you just slather it up right here. Get yourself a little brush. Just get those bones, get in between the meats. Just lather that up. That's all it takes. Now you can see these bones, like I was telling you, they're pulling through. They'll still work, it's still a good rib. Especially these guys over here. Now this is a little bigger rack, I'm gonna put more barbecue sauce. You don't want too much, you just wanna lather it up until they get sticky. And you're gonna put them on the grill, back on the grill at 250 for about 15 minutes. That's usually all it takes. In those 15 minutes, this will tack up and we'll be ready to eat. So then we just flip it over. Oh, look at that. Now right now you see they're kind of faded, that little color. They were super red earlier, so it's faded, but wait till you see what happens when you do those 15 minutes with the barbecue sauce. It's gonna have a beautiful color. Now, to top it off, just put that right there. Oh, we still need these. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. So, we're gonna use a little bit of competition barbecue rub on top, just lightly, not a lot. Just so when you give that first bite, you got that taste. Really, just a sprinkle. All right, so that's it, 15 minutes. And we're set. All right, so grill's dropped in temperature a little bit, but that's fine. We're just gonna get them in here. Lay this one right here. And I'm gonna lay this one right over here. So again, just needs 15 minutes and they should be good. So I'm gonna close this real quick. Probably got it dirty, but it's okay. And then we'll come back in 15 minutes. Timer, 15 minutes. All right. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Holy shit. Look at it. Nice and floppy. Beautiful color. Woo. All right, so you can see the ribs are done. Look at that color. And I'm sure they taste wonderful. Now, normally I would let them rest, but that's usually, once they're in the foil, you let them rest for about an hour, 30 minutes, whatever you want. Some people go 2 hours. Today we're hungry, so we're going right into it. And I'm gonna cut this jalapeno rub one first. So you can just see the ribs. So what you do, you just want to come in here right in the middle and cut that. little bit. Oh gosh, I'm tearing it up there. These are probably gonna be my favorite right here. Let's look at that. Look at that, ready? Oh yeah, juicy. Juicy ribs. Nice juicy ribs. This one I cut all crooked, but still delicious. This one right here is falling apart. But like I said, it's still good. Look at that, fall off the bone. Juicy. Juicy. Look at that. Juicy. That covers it all. Quick and easy. Delicious. The hardest part is cutting them and not hitting a bone. You just gotta make sure you watch your temperature. Make sure you keep an eye on them. If you don't got a pellet grill, you can try it on a smoker. You just gotta make sure you keep that 250, 275 temperature. If you are on an actual charcoal or other kind of smoker, you just want to keep an eye on more and more. It's a lot harder than the pellet grill, but you can cut them any way, other way. You can see nothing but juicy. All right, so we're done with dinner. I put the rest of the ribs here. We're a family of 5 and only 4 of us eat ribs, but we still got left over with at least 6 ribs. So that was 2 racks of St. Louis pork ribs. Here's some of the seasonings that I used. So one of them was the garlic jalapeno rub, competition barbecue rub, and some AP seasoning. Here's some other stuff that I always use. I like this Killer Hogs rib rub, the barbecue rub, and Heath Riles. I have yet to try this. It's still unopened. I'm gonna try this next. It's a honey rub. I use this stuff on ribs, pulled pork. You know, get yourself a nice Boston butt. Then always a good barbecue sauce. The barbecue sauce, that's up to anybody. You know, everybody has their favorite. This is just something that's very original, very traditional, and I like that. That's why I use it. I don't experiment too much. I'm a very traditional kind of guy. But this is everything that I used. I got a couple more things, but these are like Kinder's SPG, little salt, pepper, garlic. Sometimes I'll use this, especially for wings. Besides that, this is all I use. This stuff is great. You could use it on briskets, wings. I've done some wings with this stuff. A little bit of this and some jalapeno rub and the competition. This stuff's really good. So all of it, you get that nice char on those wings. Good taste. So like I said, here's our leftover ribs. They're easy to cook. They take about 3.5 hours, but they're so worth it. It's something that you can start early in the day if you have time. If you start after work around 5, you'll be eating dinner about 8:30, and I think that sets you for a nice good dinner. Thank you for watching my first video. This is everything that I've learned from watching YouTube, personal experience, reading online. Heath Riles and Malcolm Reed have, put out some good content out there. So really, I'm just reiterating some of the stuff that they do. and using some of their products, and I think it's great. I think they've mastered, you know, some of this competition style ribs, and I like that. You know, some people do the 3-2-1 method. I stick with this. I used to barbecue on a charcoal with wood smoker, but I didn't like the inconsistencies. It was hard to manage. So I bought me a pellet grill, and that Pit Boss does a great job. Like I said, I bought most of this stuff, besides this and this, at Lowe's. And I'm not sponsored by Lowe's, but I do work for them. So I get to see their products all the time, and that's what I did. Just bought some there. I was able to use my my app to find everything I needed. I didn't even know they had Heath Ryle stuff on there, or even Killer Hogs, but I found it. So I'm really glad they do. But yeah, I recommend a good solid aluminum pan, especially with these cookie coolers. Those are great. That helps you, especially for the rib rub and the barbecue sauce. So I think those come in great. Just make sure you wash it after you put your binder and your rubs. Wash it real good so that you can do your barbecue sauce. So that's all I recommend. Up to there, anybody can modify this recipe any way you want. It's really all about temperature and that tackiness in that first couple hours. Besides that, it's pretty easy. Let me know how it goes for you guys, and if this was helpful for you. Thank you.